Okay, I'm going to tell, I think I'll tell a couple of stories today, 2 different videos, about some kind of scary stories. I don't know what I'm going to put in the title for these because there are certain words you can't, the AI doesn't like. So we'll see what I come up with. But basically, these are kind of like, scary stories for Halloween, that kind of thing. Okay, I don't know if I've told these stories before. I know I did the one about Waxahachie, so I won't retell that one. But it was one of them was about 5 years ago, and I was working. It was my first time to work in a senior living community as a life enrichment director, and I had to take the classes, pass the certification, all that. And I worked at this one place, and it was a really nice place, but they were doing some remodeling, and they had some kind of like plumbing problem or something, and it messed up a whole bunch of the walls, so they had to do that. And anyway, the reason I'm mentioning that part is because I didn't know it at the time and didn't figure it out for long years later. I had to figure out that I had touched something there that made me allergic to a medication I had been on for years prior to that. And that medication was a medication for diabetes. And anyway, that was making me unhealthy, okay, because I didn't know at the time that I was allergic to medication I was taking daily. I think back then I was taking it twice a day. Yeah, and I was having some problems. But another thing was I was very disturbed by what was going on at that senior living community, things I was being told, things I was seeing. Not disturbed in a scary way, but in a just disturbed. Okay, so the things that were going on, I wound up reporting them. And I wasn't there for very long. I don't even remember how long I worked there, but it really was bad. And so my mind was very upset. It's very, mentally disturbed by what I was seeing them do at this place. And, what I would hear about and all that. So I was still working there at the time, and like I said, the medication in that. One night I saw something weird out my front door. Well, not at the door. Next to the door there was a window, and I could see through it, but it had something over it that made it look, kind of like foggy. And it wasn't that the glass was foggy; it just had something on it. And I kept seeing a light, and I kept thinking, why are people, parking in our driveway, coming in our driveway and backing up and everything? What's going on? Okay, so these lights, and at one point I thought, maybe it's a flashlight or something. Well, I did something I don't do, and before anybody tells me don't do that, I don't do this, and I don't know why I did it that night, but open the door. Okay, now Adam was asleep, and it was dark outside, no moon kind of dark, okay, very dark. The light apparently must not have been working. I might be rewriting history if I don't watch it, but the light outside, and we have motion detectors. But I go and I open up the door, and what happens then? Okay, so I open up the door, and like I said, pitch dark. All I can see right at the door, like there's a I don't know what you call it, but a brick wall kind of thing, but not a total wall. Anyway, it was a column. There it is. I'm losing my memory. But and next to it, and covering it, is all I can see is like shades of black, really. And I can see an outline of a shirt, and it is like Incredible Hulk body, and huge body, black. The black shirt, and I can see black long hair, thin, black hair, long, about to the shoulder length. It's obviously a guy, and so I immediately slam the door, lock it, and a sound comes out of my throat, my mouth, that I have never before and never since heard come out of me. It felt like it was coming out of my whole body. It's terror, total terror. Okay, so I don't know what the dogs were doing at that time, but I slammed the door, lock it, and that sound, I start running through the house, screaming, this sound. Like I said, I've never heard me do this before. And running through the house, go and get Adam, and he's, like I said, sound asleep. and he didn't hear me scream, okay? and he gets up, he's asleep, and he has on boxer shorts, just boxer shorts, and he finally comes out of, sleep fog, and he jumps up, and he runs out the front door, dressed like that, and I run, now I can laugh about it, and I run and get the phone and call 911, and I'm talking, had gotten the phone, and had already called 911, was telling the woman, he gets up and goes running out the front door like that. And I tell the woman, oh my goodness, he ran out the front door. And she said, don't let him do that. Don't let him do that. Go get him. He'll be safe. And, and so I do. And, it's kind of like, what do? Do I open the door? He's out the door, this kind of thing. And the police are like 1 block over, because they have I guess they call it a substation. I don't know what they call it. But like 1 block over. And they're there, he has time just to get back in the door, and he's running practically down the road. Now it's funny, yeah. It wasn't then. And the police come and they ask me, what happened, and they said, don't worry, ma'am, we're going to get him. Now something's going on. Okay, and this is not the first time something has happened that the police have told me, don't worry, ma'am, we're in the neighborhood, we'll catch him. That's what they said, something like that, along that line. So everything they were saying gave me the impression that they knew something was going on. Okay. So, never heard another word about it, didn't call and ask or anything. But, I started telling people that I knew what happened. And, there are people who call my house a spooky house. And, I've already done a video about that, these were the jealous people. They would say anything to, make my house look less than, whatever. And, so I was telling people, they were saying, yeah, what it was, you were, so disturbed about the job and everything that you were seeing an apparition. And I don't believe in ghosts or anything like that. And, the paranormal or anything. But I probably should after my Waxahachie story. And, so I was like, no, I really saw a man. There was a man standing there. And, but I never heard anything else. Nothing happened after that. No idea until later on. Okay, and I'm talking a long time. I don't know how, it could have been months. I don't know, but anyway, I started realizing eventually, like 2.5 years later, that I was allergic to the medication and everything. But I don't know at what point it was that I saw one of my neighbors. It was funny. The guy is somehow law enforcement or something, maybe security, law enforcement. But I really don't know. But he is a huge man, incredible Hulk size man, and he's Hispanic. So, because I couldn't see a face, all I could see was the body and the hair. And, the shades of black, So all I could do, all I could think was, that's who that was. He must have been our neighbor, had a flashlight, came to our door. Who knows, maybe some of the lighting was out, but why was the lighting in the inside working, I don't know. But it was pretty funny at that point, but yeah, during the while, it wasn't that funny. Okay, and it probably wouldn't have been, so much of a deal. I, probably would have not been so scared maybe if something else hadn't happened. I'll tell this part. This will be a third story because I got another long one to tell on another video. But before I had moved back, I had lived in the house for, I don't know, everything seemed like it was 4.5 years, and then I moved away for like 4.5 years and came back. And so before I came back, there was like a year before I actually moved back in, and I had my own apartment. And Adam was going either on a business trip, maybe see his family or something. So I went to watch his dogs, that now my dogs. But I went to watch the dogs for him, and I was staying there. And with dogs, you don't want to leave them by themselves, all night and everything. But sometimes I would, leave late and then come back early in the morning. Okay, but this time I had I went there, had one of my sisters meet me there, and she and I decided to go to a casino in Oklahoma. And I'm in Texas, near not too far from Oklahoma. It's about an hour and a half or so. of a drive. And so she and I decided during the day. So when we went, but I left the light on inside the house. I always left one light on. There's always one light on. And so we went, and I forgot to turn the light on the outside on. And plus we stayed later or something. And when I got back, the light was off. Inside the house, the light was off, and outside. And she immediately said, "The house looks so spooky." And it does. The house is, looks spooky at night when no lights are on. It does. It's just the way it is. It looks spooky. And I said, "Yeah, you stay right here." We always do that, until the person gets in the house. So and plus I needed her, lights to be able to see the door to open it, because the light on the outside wasn't on either. And I said, "You wait right here, and you wait until I'm inside, and I'll call you and, let you know everything's okay. Or come back out and tell her, So I went ahead and went in, and when I did, one of my dogs was sitting there in the entranceway, but close to the stairs that goes upstairs. Okay, and I got to him, and he was sitting right there. And he kept looking up the stairs. The stairs curves, and the upstairs part is just open to the living room. So you see, if you're standing up on the top, you see the living room. And, downstairs is the living room. And he kept looking up there, and he was growling, just growling. He wasn't barking, but he was growling. And I kept, was wondering what's going on. So I looked up, and I'm telling you, I saw what this dog was growling at. What do you think it would be growling at? Well, it's something that I don't believe in. It was like somebody wearing a white gown, but it was see-through. It was like a shadow. It looked like an apparition. I mean, looked like a ghost. It looked like a woman, or I couldn't really tell, because as soon as I saw it, the dog was looking at it and growling. I took off back out the door, and my sister was still sitting in her car out there. But that's what it looked like. And I didn't scream that time. I got back out, and I told her, and she said, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "I'm going back to my apartment." And so I left with her, left mine, followed her out. But yeah, if something like that hadn't happened, I probably wouldn't have been so scared of opening the front door and there was a shadow. Maybe I would have. Who knows? You never know, because I never do that. But yeah, it's the spooky things happen at the house, that I've experienced myself, and those are, 2 of them. Okay, but I do have reasons for this kind of thing to be on my mind, besides that Halloween's coming up, and plus I saw a video about somebody's spooky experience today and Halloween, but also because little things are happening lately, like I'm thinking something, and then something like that later on happens. So that's a different kind of spooky. Anyway, but that's enough for this video for now. I'm going to do another one on something else. But if you want to subscribe to this channel, click the circle. If you want to watch another video on this channel, click one of the rectangles. Like, subscribe, comment, and share if you would. And I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.